Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Super Lunch Bros Podcast, episode number 140. I am Brendan. Let's talk about PFL number 4 from the 2022 season, featuring Clay Collard versus Alexander Martinez, Antonio Carlos Jr. versus Bruce Souto, OAM versus Manfio, and Jeremy Stevens versus Miles Price, as well as others. So we will go over all of those fights, what they mean for the league, and the playoff appearances and that stuff. I think we will go over playoff brackets in a couple weeks after all this has settled. I'm pretty sure they'll have all those brackets filled out. Before we get started, if you like MMA, you like talking about MMA, you like hearing about MMA, subscribe to the channel because this is all I talk about. This is what I do, and I'll let you know when my videos are coming out. I talk about the PFL, UFC. I put out 2 or 3 videos every single week talking about each fight, breaking them down, talking about controversies, rule changes, and those kinds of things. So if you like any of that stuff, subscribe to the channel because you'll like pretty much every video I put out. I appreciate it. All right, let's get started. So Clay Collard versus Alexander Martinez. So this was a winner go home situation, not winner go home, win or go home situation for both men, meaning winner goes to the playoffs, loser does not. And that's the end of it. So let's break it down. Sorry, by the way, my allergies are going crazy. I helped a friend move, and he has a lot of cats, and we were cleaning a lot of. I helped a friend clean because he is moving. And when I cleaned his house or helped clean his house and all that stuff, and I'm pretty sure I got a lot of cat dander all up in my nostrils and such. So if I look like I'm dying or my nose is I'm gonna sneeze, that is what's going on. All right, Clay Collard versus Alexander Martinez. This fight was entertaining. It was half entertaining when it wasn't standing and Clay Collard was doing stuff, and then it was half. Alexander Martinez had his moments, especially on the ground, but really there was a lot of times where he was just kind of holding on for dear life and trying to ride it out. So let's look at how each round went on here and how it was scored. So I thought that started out as like a normal Clay Collard fight, even on damage up until about 250, where Martinez got a break from a fake low blow, which was interesting. So he got this little fake break. Clay Collard had to have his gloves cut a little bit. He had some loose wraps or tape. And then Collard was working the body really well, got a takedown, and landed more of the big shots. Meaningless takedown for Martinez to end the round. Easy 10-9 for me. So this first round, if you want to look at the FPR, the Fire Performance Rating that the PFL gives out, Round 1, 69 to 37 in favor of Clay Collard. I agree with that. I felt like the damage went to Collard. I don't think round 1 is debatable. Round 2. So this round started out pretty much the same way with a lot of body damage coming from Clay Collard. And then Martinez kept looking for the takedown. And then so Collard ended up he caught Martinez moving backwards with a left hook and actually dropped Martinez. And then after some ground game, Martinez reversed and ends up on the back, sinked in a deep rear naked choke. There was no finish, obviously, because the fight went to a decision. Alexander Martinez ended up getting the split decision here. But that round was very close because that submission was very deep, and even though Collard kind of shrugged it off and stuck his tongue out and did all that funny stuff afterwards, it was still a deep submission, and you can't dismiss that completely. Therefore, if you gave this round to Martinez, I kind of did. I thought it was really close. If you count that knockdown as damaging as much as the rear naked choke submission, then Collard gets the round here because he did more damage. But if you're going to say that rear naked choke was so close and it was high, then, if you gave that second round to Martinez, I'm not going to fight you on it. And even the FPR was pretty close, 88 to 78 in favor of Clay Collard. So I gave this round to Martinez, and I'm not mad at anybody who does. Also, if you give it to Clay, I also am okay with that. All right, now here's another round that should have gone to Clay Collard. So third round started the same way with Clay moving forward and laying into the body, landing big shots. Martinez with heavy amount of grappling, but he did no damage in any of those situations, and he was not close on any submission attempts. Martinez was taking damage on the feet, but then worked his way back to grappling and then held onto the back. Collard reverses with a Kimura, but then he ended up ending the round on his back, but he was also the one doing the punching from his back. So round 3, I agree with the FPR here. I don't know if it was that wide of a margin, but Clay Collard 82-43 in favor of Clay. I gave him that win. I'm not mad at it. I think I can understand why a judge would give that to Martinez. I think they're wrong, but I could understand why you would give it to him because of that last round in the grappling exchanges, and obviously that same judge giving him round 2 for the same reason, with the grappling exchanges being dominant in grappling and taking the decision win here. So congratulations to Alexander Martinez. I don't agree with the decision, but tis what it is. Okay. Oh yeah, and if you want to look, so now that means that we can look at this here. So Clay Collard is no longer in, right, with only 3 points. Nathan Schultz, he will talk about him later. Jeremy Stevens, we'll talk about him later. But Hausch Manfio made it. Alexander Martinez, with that win, did make it into the playoffs. So it's unfortunate the way that this worked out, but for Clay, that is. It's good for Martinez. All right, the co-main event here with last year's champion, Antonio Carlos Jr. taking on Bruce Souto. Shoeface he had a first-round finish in his first fight this year. So his playoff berth was pretty much, I think his playoff berth was guaranteed based on the way it was going on. So he didn't even need a win here to get in. It was all on Souto to try and do something to kind of work his way to a win, and he just didn't do anything. Souto was not able to keep Antonio off of him. It was a grapple and clinch heavy first round, same as the first round, like the second round was, so 2018. And then I said maybe in the last round Souto did enough to win that round, but I don't think so. The grappling was just too dominant for Carlos Jr., and he clearly won the fight, giving him 3 more points, which makes 9 points, and therefore guaranteeing himself a playoff appearance here. Like I said, it was guaranteed already. It just puts him in a better seed, so however they work that out. Okay. OAM taking on Hausch Manfio. Not Menifo. OAM with he got the decision win, which is enough for him here. So it should say 6 points here, not 3, because he did get the win. So that puts him in, because he had a win last time as well, putting him 2-0 for the season and giving him a playoff berth. So neither guy really wanted to engage, and OAM was landing the better strikes with body kicks and kicks to the leg. He did land a good hook in that first round at one point, so easy 10-9 for him. Another round of kicking at distance in the second round for OAM, and he just got the better of it, 2018. And then in the third round, Manfio tried to finish and push the pace, but it was too little too late. He pushed forward, wasn't able to get any really good damage on it anyway. If you gave that last round to Hausch, that's fine. OAM really didn't let him get any offense off, and he didn't land anything so significant that it would have swayed the judges and, given him a 10-8. Really, he was looking for either a 10-8 round or a finish, and that was the only way that was going to fall in his favor there. Okay, here's another fun fight. Actually, it went a lot the way the Clay Collard fight went. As far as exciting, boring. Jeremy Stevens taking on Miles Price. Jeremy Stevens finally getting his first PFL win. Obviously, his first fight was against Clay Collard, and he did not get the decision there. Price just fails. Like, he failed to get a takedown, and he took some punishment for it in the first round. Stephens actually landed some offense with some big hooks in the first round, up top and down into the body. I gave him that first round 10-9. We're going to go over it round by round because it was relatively close, and there was a split decision. So first round, easily Jeremy Stephens, not even close. Second round, the damage was closer, but I still gave the edge to Stephens, even if the damage were even, right? If the damage was even on both sides, Stephens was the aggressor and always pushing forward, so that's why I gave him that second round. The FPR agrees with me here, 50-44 in favor of Stephens. Yes, it was a closer round, but clearly, in my opinion, it went to Stephens. And then in the third round, there was another failed takedown for Price. Stephens landed a little bit, but then finally Price landed a takedown, spent the whole round on top until the last 10 seconds when Stephens got up and pressured forward and tried to actually land some damage. So not a lot of damage in favor of Price in this last round, but enough control time, and he didn't really take any to really offset it in favor of Stephens for that last round. Therefore, I gave the fight 29-28 in favor of Jeremy Stephens, and I don't think I'm crazy. I think that was the right call. All right, another. Let's see. This is another light heavyweight fight here. Omari Akhmedov versus Theodoros Oxtolis. So Akhmedov ended up getting the knockout here, which was, or not the knockout. Sorry, the submission win. He put Oxtolis to sleep. Akhmedov had like an early takedown. He didn't do much damage, and then Oxtolis ended up reversing the position. A left hook from Omari rocked Theodoros. Let's see. And then a second one, landing some damage in return. Omari just landed a ton of damage in that first round, and I don't think it's anything. Yeah, 94-19. No controversy there. So because of that, the first round, Oxtolis wasn't able to make the playoffs anyway, but it was surprising, not in the way that it was surprising that he stopped trying. It was surprising how hard he kept going for the finish. I guess fighters are going to fight, and it's MMA, so they're going to fight how they need to. And a left hand from Oxtolis put Omari down and busted up his nose real bad, but Akhmedov worked his way into a good position, got mount, sunk in an arm triangle, and put Oxtolis to sleep. So he got the finish in the second round, and I think that puts him, 11 points. So clearly, easy peasy in the light heavyweight playoffs are set, so that is good. All right, moving on here. Natan Schultz. Yeah, we got a couple more fights to talk about here. Oh, why is this not pulling up? Natan Schultz versus Marcin Held. Held just he was always on the back foot. He just never got anything going. Schultz was able to land damage when he needed to. I think Marcin landed more strikes total, but the damage was all in favor of Schultz. All 3 rounds looked pretty much the same, with Schultz walking him down. Held not able to do anything back, not able to throw any damage back or land anything of significance, and Schultz just essentially cruised his way to victory. Obviously, he had to work hard because he kept moving forward and stuff, but to be honest with you, I thought for sure he was going to get a knockout. I'm surprised he didn't, and Held made it to the end of the fight. He just didn't really do anything. Okay, another light heavyweight fight here. Delon Monte versus Emiliano Sorti. So Sorti needed a first-round win, So he needed a first-round knockout or submission to get into the playoffs. But guess what? Delon Monte was having none of it. He ends up getting the knockout himself. Monte caught him with a big hand, some big hands early, and then chased him down and went off and got the TKO finish in the first round. So with that win, it put him in the playoffs instead of Sorti. Yeah, so you can see Delon Monte being the fourth guy here, ahead of Josh Silveira. Who Josh Silveira actually fought earlier on this card. We will get to that in a second. First, we got to talk about Victor Pesta versus Robert Wilkinson. So Wilkinson just needed a win to get in the playoffs. That's all he needed, and that's exactly what he got here. Wilkinson did a great job defending takedowns with a whizzer in the first round. Pesta got tumbled by a right hand, and Wilkinson kept the pressure on. Pesta just was taking too much damage, and Wilkinson got the 6 points and a playoff spot with that win in the first round. So that fight ended relatively quick. And let's talk about the first fight that had meaning on this card, which was... Oh, yeah, there was also another fight with Childers versus Jennerman. These guys were both from Illinois, so represent. Okay. All right. Martin Hamlet versus Josh Silveira. Silveira ended up getting the first round finish here, and he threw 4 front kicks to the body and then went up top to rock Martin. And then a flurry from Josh gave him the TKO finish, and Martin Hamlet just kept throwing spinning back fists, which was kind of odd. He actually threw one so hard earlier in the fight that he looked like a dancer or kind of like an ice skater because he spun around so much. It was really weird looking. But Josh ends up getting the finish here, giving him 6 points and the possibility to be in the playoffs. But because he only fought once, he ends up getting, I guess that was, maybe his win took longer, and that's why he didn't make the playoffs, which is interesting. That's strange. Anyway, that was it for the PFL this weekend. I will be covering the UFC in the next video. I'll do the main card and then the prelims. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, because if you like this stuff, you're going to like pretty much everything I do. Like I said, 2 to 3 videos a week covering. I will be covering the PFL for the next couple of weeks while we sift out, actually, maybe just this next week. But anyway, we're going to be sifting out the rest of the regular season. Then it's just the playoffs that are left. And then, of course, I'm going to be covering the next couple weeks of the UFC, obviously, because that's where my bread is buttered there. Cool. Oh, man, I really need to go take care of my nose. Oh, jeez, and my eyes. I appreciate y'all sticking through me sniffling and stumbling here because I'm trying not to sneeze constantly. I appreciate y'all. If you don't want to watch those UFC videos and this was the only reason you came over to my channel, I really appreciate it. Love y'all. I hope you have an awesome week. And if you're looking for those videos, they should be up relatively shortly. And go ahead and over there and check those out. Also, if you watch this on Sunday, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all you guys out there. Love y'all.